So in the studio, we've got Mindy, who is it's Team Mindy.
Yes, we like to go by Team Mindy.
Yes, this totally makes sense. So the Springfield Carnival, I mean, it's Springfield Township Carnival and Community Expo. Fantastic event coming up.
Yes.
You guys, you're the big sponsor. I mean, before the fun and games, I know there's some big benefits to the community having this, and you guys being so community involved. Was this kind of a no-brainer for you to get into?
Oh, it took my team member 30 seconds to convince me. I mean, literally, he walked back to my office. Mindy, so-and-so reached out to me, and he grew up in Springfield Township. So he's like, so-and-so came up to me and presented this. Would you be willing? And they're looking for me to do the lowest sponsorship, right? And
Sure.
I said, well, get me the information. And when I saw the highest one was 1,000, I'm like, well, that's an absolute no-brainer. Springfield Township deserves this sponsorship and they shouldn't be begging for it, right? So I felt like they deserve the sponsorship. The community deserves
Sure.
the sponsorship.
Totally makes sense. I mean, with you guys being the big the big sponsor.
Yes.
Why do you, I mean, for you, I know you guys do sponsorship of a lot of events, but you're the big sponsor for this one. Why do you feel sponsoring events like this is important?
This event's all about community and family.
Sure.
And in America, I think that's really what we're about. We need to really, how do I want to say this? I think we really need to firm up what our existence is. And our existence is
Sure.
community and family. And that's exactly what this event is representing.
I love that. I mean, it truly is. I mean, this is family geared event. There's going to be, I mean, stuff for everyone there. There's, I mean, stuff for the kids, stuff for the adults. There's stuff for businesses. It really is. It's about bringing that community, the community spirit together. You guys seem pretty active in like Springfield in general. Why is that a core value? I mean, does that, I mean, this isn't something new for you guys.
No.
You've done this for a while. We're not going to say years. You've done this type of thing for a while. I mean, has this always been a core value of yours, or is it also shared with State Farm, or what is that? Where does that stem from?
So I look for communities that I feel are underserved by sponsors. And
Sure.
I feel Springfield Township sometimes has to work too hard to get the sponsorship that maybe Green will get, right? And the people, humans are humans. There's
Sure.
no difference. So for me, I believe that Springfield Township needs more companies, more businesses to sponsor them, to show them that they're worthwhile. I don't know how to word this really, but to show them
Sure.
that there's companies that believe in them.
Sure.
And believe in where they live and believe in who they are.
Yeah.
I am constantly bringing lunch to the fire and police and thanking them for what they do, because that's the safety. People don't understand the risk they take.
Every day.
And that's the safety they represent for a town. So the stronger I believe the fire and police are, the stronger the city will be. And that's the core values with that. And to be honest with you, I've lived through a total house fire. I was a child, and it was just amazing. It was a city, I don't know what they call it.
4-alarm fire.
4-alarm fire.
There we go.
There you go.
Teamwork.
Sorry, folks.
Teamwork.
And I think that's what brought me to insurance. Insurance was never, ever, if someone had asked me at 35 if I was going to be an insurance agent or State Farm, I probably would have just asked them what they were on.
Right. Who? A what? So, I mean, with your community involvement, what's something that you would tell other people to like do to get involved in the community? So much of this is about building community. Not every individual is going to be able to say, hey, I'm going to sponsor a big event. What's a way that you would tell people, hey, look, this is what you should do in order to get involved with your community?
So if you're a business in a community or trying to service different communities,
Sure.
like I'm not trying to just get, work with Springfield Township, but you're now working very hard against the internet and
Sure.
against all the companies that are selling online, right? And they could be in California selling to Springfield Township. So, I mean, that's your biggest competition, but the people are going to remember who was standing feet in their soil and helping them and supporting the things to make more things available for them, for their families. And a family could be a single person, to be honest with you. They're
Sure.
starting their family, they've decided that that's their family unit, or a family could be completely mixed with grandchildren and other people's children. It doesn't matter when I say the word family, but let's make everyone stronger.
I like that. It's funny. And the way you speak to that, for us, our business, our motto, success is a shared thing. If you're successful, we're going to be successful too.
Right.
The more successful the area is, it is just going to find a way to make itself. Everyone's just going to do better.
Yes.
I absolutely love that. Now, with that, you've done this for a little while. Once again, we're not saying numbers.
No. Hey, I get to brag. I still have a 14-year-old.
I see. There you go. There you go.
People look at me and they're like, "What?
Right? No.
How old were you? Were you
get it.
60?" No.
Yeah, had my last kid at 76. No. That being said, you've built some very strong relationships with your clients through the years.
Yes.
How do you do that? What's the thing that leads you to build those relationships with those people? Is there one secret ingredient to that, or is it just look, I'm just going to stand next to you?
They're our family. We treat them like they're our family. What people don't understand is behind the scenes, there's a lot of people that are getting timed. Insurance agents, their team members that are getting timed with how long they spend with each client, right? I'm not kidding you.
Wow.
If you talk to call centers, no one will really, it's a dirty secret, but it's a truth. And my team knows that someone can come in if they're just having a bad day and they need to talk for 15 minutes, that they're absolutely free to do that.
Nice.
Right? So what does that provide us? Did it provide us sales? Did it grow our business more? No. But we made someone's day or we helped their day go through, and hopefully they'll refer us or they'll say something about us, or they just won't leave us.
Sure.
Either way.
You guys are known for going above and beyond for people. In the same sense, I'm gonna kind of loop that two different directions here, because you've gone above and beyond for some of your team members.
Yes.
Before we started, you mentioned there was someone that started with you that has a pretty. I'm assuming there's a number of unique stories.
Yes.
In terms of how you have found your team members. It's not just putting an ad in the paper and being like, hey, whoever comes in that I hate the least, that's who I'm going to hire. What's a good team building story that, says that you've done this differently to really feed your agency the way you've wanted to build it?
Great question. So one of my employees was referred to us by our FedEx delivery person. Not kidding you. She hadn't worked for several years.
The FedEx man delivered.
He delivered. I'm not kidding you. Another one I met in a Akron-funded support program when I adopted a child.
Wow.
And it was, she was, to be honest with you, on food stamps and living in subsidized housing. And she was in the same program, and she met me there, and she was trying to apply for a job, and I just told her she had to be fully licensed. A month later, she came back. She was fully licensed. I didn't interview her. I hired her right on the spot. And I will tell you, she is a solid. I do not want to let her go. She'll probably ask for a raise when she hears this.
You know what, though? I always love that, because that is where you find great people.
Yeah.
When you hire someone that is willing to put in that effort, not even to get hired, to have a chance at getting hired, you can only imagine what they're going to do for your clients, for your customers, for everyone in the community. Holy cow, that is absolutely awesome.
She's a diamond in the rough.
Yes.
People would have missed her.
Yeah. For sure. For 100% for sure.
Yeah.
With working with State Farm, what's advice for someone that you would give someone that they're starting a family or they're planning for the future with their family? What's some advice that you would give someone from either a personal aspect or as an agent?
With insurance.
Sure.
Okay. So take it seriously. You need to take your insurance seriously. You need to know what you have, what you're paying for, what you're overpaying for, what you're not paying for, and you need. I strongly wish that high school would make this a required course.
Sure.
Think about it. The government says you have to carry auto insurance. The mortgage company or lien holder says you have to have insurance. So you just go out and you know nothing about it. Think of the 18, 19-year-old, 16-year-old.
And they just want the cheapest whatever.
They want the cheapest, not knowing what it's going to do. Then they never change it. So now they've gone down the road. They've gotten a good job. They're not the starving teenager or the starting out in their 20s. Now they're 30. They have a good job. They have an income, but they've never, ever discussed their insurance again, right?
So they have 19-year-old insurance with 35-year-old paychecks.
Yes. Yes. And what they don't understand, yeah, I mean, absolutely. So let's just take a renter's policy. People think I don't need a renter's policy, right?
Right.
But if you're put your laptop down, leave it on, put it on the couch, leave the house, and the fire started in your apartment due to the laptop that you left on the couch, you're responsible for all the damage done to that apartment.
Ooh, yeah, no thanks.
No one thinks about that. They think their renter's policy is for liability that they'll never need.
Right.
They don't
think,
understand that.
I didn't like this couch anyway, so if it burns, I don't care.
Yeah. And they don't realize the other ramifications, right? And then as you're 35, you don't understand that the judge can take 20% of your income
Sure.
for the rest of your life, and you have to pay taxes on that 20%. So I would like everyone to think right now, what would your life, you could be making $200,000 a year, but lose 20% plus the taxes on it. You've taken your $200,000 and now I'm just ballparking, but now you're at 140. What's your different lifestyle going to be?
Sure.
Losing 30% of that could be light because you have to pay the taxes on them.
It's interesting you say that too, because I know there's so many people that, I mean, if they go just do the online thing, they're going to click the cheapest option.
Absolutely.
And have no idea what they're missing out on. And I even found, talking with an agent years ago, they're like, hey, look, to really get good coverage, like we're actually going to cover most of your behind instead of just like a corner of one cheek. It's like an extra $30 a month. And I was like, oh, well, why wouldn't I do that?
Right.
It's having someone present those things to you to say, look, here's this. It isn't much more expensive to get this great coverage instead of just the bare minimums and to walk through stuff like that. That totally makes sense.
Well, and explain why why it costs what it costs and why you're spending.
Sure.
Right. So I've had a lot of people come in and why did my rate go up? Why did my rate go up? And so we just pull it up. We pull it up and it's line item. And I'm like, look, everywhere it increased had to do with comp or collision or property damage. So that is not, that has nothing to do with you personally because they're offended. They come in, I don't have a ticket. I didn't do anything, right? I
didn't hit anything.
No, right? I haven't had an accident.
I didn't run anyone over.
So we pull it up and I'm like, it's the vehicle you have and there's nothing we can do. Sure. If the manufacturer of the product increases the price, then they give it to the collision shop and they increase the price.
Sure.
And they feel better about themselves and the cost because they'll see the liability really wasn't that much. I mean, sometimes I have people that have liability that costs $6 a month to cover them for $250,000, $500,000 a year, right?
Right.
They're like, oh.
Because I've been driving for 40 years and haven't hit anything.
Right. They're rewarded. But, if you buy a 250, a truck 250 versus a two-door sedan, not one that young kids buy and soup up, but just,
right.
There's going to be a difference in premium.
Sure. Because it's more expensive to bounce off stuff.
I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that now when I'm dealing with people.
Go right ahead.
Yes.
It becomes more expensive when you bounce off things.
Right.
When can you share a time where someone whether it be you or someone on your team, has just gone above and beyond and offered that wow service where someone was like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect this?
I have several stories, but the one I'm going to use is about 10 years ago when the tornado hit right by my office.
Sure.
Weather station never even predicted there was going to be a tornado. I walked out of my office at 7:00 at night with one of my team members, and I said, Patty, look at that strange cloud up there. It hadn't touched down yet. I go, it's rotating the wrong way and it's got things in it. Not kidding you. And it touched down it didn't touch down at my office.
Sure.
But within a third of a mile of my office.
Wow.
And then and it was devastated.
Yeah.
I mean, there were places, it's almost like it went down this one street.
Sure.
There were trees. The cars in the driveway looked like Tonka trucks with a tree stabbed right through the middle, through the roof, all the way down, right? So what did we do? Well, the next day, because it wasn't called a tornado, so we didn't stay in, we just, we
Sure.
raced ahead of the tornado. I don't know if that was smart, but
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. But so the next day we showed in early. Everyone showed up early. We had 2 people stay on the phone in the office to answer the phones. But you got to remember, electric and phone were out pretty much. But if people came by, and then the rest of us were out delivering bagels and donuts and coffee to anybody we saw. We didn't vet whether they were our customer or not. We just went running around, making sure people are okay, making sure things were good. And then at lunchtime, we made sure that we delivered. If we could get a hold of them via phone, we would ask them what type of pizza they wanted, and we just started delivering pizza to everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, is that above? Oh, and the other thing we did is I had I'm going to say roofer in my back pocket. I called him and I said, hey, I need a huge favor.
Sure.
I have all these people that need the roof tarped. Can you go out and did it? He did 50 homes in one day.
Holy cow.
He tarped. Do you know he didn't bill a single person until 3 to 4 weeks later because he cared more about them than his pocket.
Yep.
The biggest complaint I had about that roofer is that he didn't bill them for 3 or 4 weeks later.
Wow.
And of course, that's all covered in your insurance.
Sure. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty amazing. As we start to wrap up here, what's something that you would like people to kind of take from what you guys do moving forward? And how would you like them to, I guess I would say, look at what your agency does and kind of make an analogy to how they can activate that in the community, that charity, that not necessarily, I'm not telling people to go out and sponsor things, but that community service. How would you think an individual can go out and do something in their community?
We have several nonprofits in our community that you can volunteer.
Sure.
There's just absolutely amazing that I didn't know about until I started volunteering. And then someone would say, did you know about this? Or did you know about that? So you can absolutely volunteer. Another thing is you can just start, you can start bringing things to the police, to the fire, and they always, because they'll post it on their media, and then the nonprofits will find you, but you could bring lunch to them.
Sure.
Or you could bring them cupcakes, or just say, hey, thank you for protecting our community. And from there, a lot of times they'll post it on their Facebook pages, and then the nonprofits will find you and then reach out to you and say, hey, because they know if you'll give something to your local, police
that's a
and
wonderful
fire
way to do it.
Yeah. If you'll give something to them, they know that you've got that heart and that you've got that community aspect in you. So in volunteering, but if you're going to volunteer local. A lot of times State Farm will reach out and ask me to volunteer in Cleveland or down in Columbus. And the reason I don't is because if I'm going to volunteer, I'm going to give it to my local community where I am and support them, because those nonprofits are what makes my community great.
Yep. I absolutely love that. We are looking forward to seeing Team Mindy. I mean, I know there's going to be possibly a few in and out and people all throughout the time there at Experience Springfield Township Carnival and Community Expo. It's April 26th from 3 to 6 p.m. You guys should all be down there. We will see you there.
Yeah, be there. It'll be a great event.